let's chat about this important factor of this case. Lisa, if the jury comes back with Deaterly being liable for damages, how will he be able to pay the money with a negative net worth?
We've seen this in many cases. Obviously, O.J. Simpson is one of the biggest civil ones where he wasn't in a position to pay, and it was supposed to be over a certain period of time, and they garnished future wages from him. So that would be the only way to do that is, future income, it would be infringed upon and garnished. So that's basically what they have. But I do think it is premature for him to ask that question. I think, the plaintiff has every right to ask for what they believe is the proper compensation if they do end up finding in favor of the plaintiff.
Lisa, is it possible to have a hung jury on the amount of money awarded if they agree upon if the defendant is found liable or not?
First of all, I agree with everything that Andrew said. It's cleaner to break it all down individually just in case there's an appeal and you know exactly what he was found. Deaterly was found culpable of if indeed it is in favor of Mr. Jacobson. So could you have a hung jury? Yes. I mean, that's always a possibility that can happen. And it all comes down to what are their perspectives. Are they pet owners? Do they have dogs? Do any of them have pit bulls? Are they familiar with the breed? Has anybody on the jury been bitten by a dog before? Do they fear dogs? So it's going to be just a matter of their personal experiences.
That was a short line of questioning there, but there is much to take away from that. Lisa, do you think the plaintiff's attorney brought up a good point by asking the doctor if they're a ballistics expert?
Well, yeah, because we know that they're not simply just clearing the air, whether or not, the wound proved fatal based on what was hit within the body. She talked about ricochet. Yes, that definitely happens. If it hit and struck one of the bones, one of the ribs, you would see splintering, and then the splintering from those bones would cause other damage within the body. But we know that ultimately it did not go through the skeletal cavity. It went through the soft mass tissue, and it proved to be fatal.
Lisa, also from your expertise, could a ballistic expert be someone we could hear in the plaintiff's rebuttal case?
I think so. And Andrew brought that up as well, because you're looking at proximity. You're looking at whether or not, you've got a certain amount of muzzle flash. You have debris that comes from it. How close was that dog? So you have gunpowder. The list goes on. How close was that dog? And again, even if the dog was within 5 feet, we know that that dog can quickly close that gap, and that situation could have been a life or death situation. So I do think that if we were able to look at the actual blood from the wound, where that was, if we went that far, but police arrived on the scene, they listened to his story, and they agreed with what happened. So yeah, it could have been investigated a little bit further with the potential that he may be sued for unlawfully firing on this dog.
So Lisa, after everything you've heard thus far, what do you think we can expect from closing arguments?
So obviously I'm coming from a filter of my police world, and I've been to homes and handling calls where I have been bit by dogs. In the thigh, I was bit once. I was bit on the hand once. So dogs can be extremely dangerous if they are off a leash. It's a responsibility of the dog owner to make sure that their dog is contained in order to protect the public, because dogs can be unpredictable. So I think in this case, if it were looked at just from those facts that this person was negligent in keeping the dog restrained, it would be in favor of the defendant.
Do you think there will be a short deliberation there, Lisa, or do you think it'll take a while?
I think it will be short. I'm looking forward to closing arguments and what comes up, but I don't think there is much there regarding the damages for his emotional health and well-being and psychological. He had pre-existing conditions, and he wasn't seen immediately after for what happened to his dog. So I think he may lose in that area.